leap of faith.
This is the way. Truth is, I am Iron Man.
Tells me I'm from Memphis.
Hello, everyone, and welcome back to Film Optix, brought to you by the Drive-In Podcast Network, where we discuss film, TV, and everything pop culture related. I'm your host, Christian, and I'm joined by one of my co-hosts, Devin. What is going on, buddy? How's the life?
I'm feeling invincible today.
You're feeling invincible? Why?
I'm getting the second shot tomorrow,
Ooh.
and I will really be invincible. Nothing can stop me.
Let's just walk outside without any mask on. That's okay, guys. I'm vaccinated. But if
don't
you
look both ways when I cross the street.
Literally, that's actually been my my catchphrase for like everything. All my friends are like, "Oh, that's disgusting." I'm like, it's okay. I'm vaccinated.
Yeah.
But yeah, so we're actually before we get into today's review, we're actually this is more of a soft reboot because we've done this before, but we are now officially on YouTube full time. Let's go all day. Yes. There we go.
Hit us up.
Yes, we are here. We are here on YouTube full time. So, I mean, nothing's really going to change on the audio side. We're just going to be recording and uploading same time. It's just, we figured we have to show our faces more often anyway. And why not? So it's like, it's nice, it's kind of gets the old juices flowing and whatnot. So yeah. So today we are actually going to be covering our Invincible episode 6 review that is titled "You Look Kinda Dead." So this is just a little bit. For those of you who are new to our podcast, of course, we cover everything from pop culture, indie movies, blockbusters, the whole nine. We love to show a little bit of love anywhere we go. So today's episode, we're just going to be covering Invincible episode 6, and this will be up on Saturday, even though we're recording this on a Thursday. And we, of course, would like to thank Amazon for letting us watch and review this series early. But the reason why we're recording this on Saturday, or recording this on Thursday and uploading it Saturday, is because we're going to be talking about spoilers like all throughout. And it's for a show like this, it's really not as fun to, I think the embargo for episode 6 was like today for non-spoilers, but we can talk about spoilers on Saturday. So it's like, hey, we record early, pump that bad boy out by Saturday alongside our Falcon and Winter Soldier review. And there you go. We're all here. It's all good in the hood.
Now we just need some sweet Invincible merch.
Yeah, dude. I've been seeing a lot of people get it. So hopefully us, showing our pretty little faces on YouTube for all of our wonderful, I watched a lot of podcasts through YouTube as well, but hopefully, we can, maybe we'll put it on the list. So it's through the pipe dream for sure. But before we begin today's review, you can listen to this podcast on platforms around the internet, and of course here on YouTube. So you can see our wonderful, brilliant, smiling faces, and make sure to follow us on Instagram and Twitter at Film Optix. That is Optix with an X for all of our latest announcements. So, Devin, let's dive into our into this review. We're almost there. This is episode 6. We got 2 more episodes left. We're almost at the penultimate episode of this series for season 1. It has been a crazy wild ride, and let's just dive into our initial reactions before we get into any bit of spoilers, just to give people a chance to feel us out and see what we're all about. So when you hear this, that means we're going into spoilers, but of course we're not going to do it just yet. But Devin, what were your initial reactions for Invincible episode 6? You look kind of dead.
Yeah, I thought it was a solid episode. Definitely better than the Mars episode. I feel like that's setting up to be kind of the low point of the season so far. But it was very exciting. We got a nice college visit for our young man. a young man finding himself.
Yeah, let's go to med school. It's like, ooh, I like that. I like that a lot. But yeah, anything else?
The voice cast for this episode specifically, like the voice cast is always stacked, but this episode was just like insane.
Okay, so we had, and I always forget that Gillian Jacobs plays Eve. I always forget that 100%. And it's like,
yeah,
even like, you have Steven Yeun, like, it's Mark, but like, it's just his voice blends so well with, Mark Grayson's. And
yeah, it's like when you watch his mouth move, it's not like, it's like natural.
Yeah.
Like that's Mark Grayson.
Even with J.K. Simmons, it's like, I mean, I know it's him, but it's not like the Lion King remaster or the remake effect where, when we heard Nala's voice, all I heard was Beyonce. Like, it's like the character on screen and the person's voice did not match well to me. Same thing with Donald Glover.
That kind of happened in this episode with a certain character in the beginning.
I'm trying to think who it was. How did this episode start off with? Oh, the God, was it the? We'll get into it.
Yeah,
but yeah,
we'll get into it.
So for my initial thought reactions on this episode, I thought it was fantastic. I thought it was a great sequel episode to last week's Bloodbath. And, it literally just kind of just takes you straight into the aftermath of what happened. The whole thing with Amber and Mark, with Amber and Mark, their relationship has been definitely on the rocks, if not so more than, being on thin ice, like super thin ice. So,
it's on the rocks and thin ice. That's how bad it is.
It's thin ice on the rocks. Hey, there you go. There you go. Yeah. So it was a great episode. Very, very tense from all storyline perspectives. And it's just, like we say each and every week, it keeps getting better and better.
It's just like Homelander. Any scene with Nolan Grayson, aka what's his name?
Nolan Grayson?
What's his superhero name? Omni-Man. Yeah. Any scene with him is just guaranteed to be intense. Just because he's a psychopath.
And it's like literally he can just snap you like a twig and just walk away. Have no, remorse whatsoever. And it's like you just got to choose your words carefully. But I think he is a little bit more level-headed than Homelander, as crazy as that sounds.
Well, we haven't seen everything yet.
That is very true. But the only murder bloodbath we've seen is him destroying the original Guardians of the Globe. So he
also almost let his son die, but
that too. I still can't believe that happened. I was like, it was in the distance.
Shouting distance.
And he was like, well, I told him. I don't know if that's like a
told you so. Enjoy the death.
Exactly. And it's like, oh, it's either he knew he was going to pull through, but it's like, I think Omni-Man needs to realize that, yes, he is a Viltrumite, but he is also a human. So it's like he has mixed blood. I don't know which one is the dominant gene. I'm assuming it's a Viltrumite because, he has all the powers that his father has that we've seen so far. And
yeah, it says Cecil mentioned that this episode. He said he's a human teenager. And like, that's definitely a big part of his life.
Yeah, especially right now. But yeah, initial reaction wise, I thought this episode was great. Like I said, it's keeps building up so many questions, and I really enjoy the 40 to 45 minute runtime. They've been pretty consistent across the board so far, which is what I really, really like. So it's great stuff. But let's get into the episode breakdown. So I believe this one first starts with...
So we're getting into spoilers?
Yes. So, yeah, thank you for reminding me, Devin. Spoilers for all you people out there listening.
So you mentioned certain voice actors where you just hear the actor and not the character. That definitely happened here with the frat bro douche in the beginning. It's Justin Roiland.
Dude, I didn't even realize. I
recognized it. I was like, okay, there's Rick. He was even burping too. Like he was doing the burps.
So for a hot second, I was like, oh, I'm like that. It wasn't that it kind of sounded like Rick. I'm like, oh, he's talking a little bit like Rick. but I didn't know that was Justin Roiland. This entire cast has been wow. Jack Black's not in this, is he? I don't think so.
Not yet. He might be.
I can't. I thought I read something somewhere. I just want to see Jack Black again. Honestly, I absolutely love him.
Justin Roiland was two characters in this episode. He was the douche in the beginning and the kid at the end.
The kid
up the grave.
Oh yeah. That's right. The very, very end. The post credit scene. I really like.
I have no idea what that scene means, but I'm sure we'll find out.
Nope, none whatsoever. And honestly, at first, I got to say the whole Invincible title thing. At first, I didn't really like it. I think
they're doing it in creative ways, especially this week.
Yeah, this week was timed perfectly. So it's just like, you know, when we first watched it, when we watched like the first 3 episodes, like a month ago or whatever, I was like, wait, what? And then, okay, I see what they're doing. But yeah, I mean, the title card, this key, you know, they're spewing more blood onto it. I don't know what the what the season finale title card is going to look like. I'm not sure if it's just going to be a red title card and you can barely see it, or is it just
so much blood? Or
is it going? I have a theory that like the blood's going to kind of like cover like Invincible, like the way that God, I almost said Power Broker. Sorry, the way that the black dude Titan, how he spelt it.
Invincible.
He's like, your name is long as hell. But yeah,
so that's also a good place to start this episode, because that's one of the issues I had was the 2 survivors from the onslaught of last episode. It didn't really feel right for both of them to survive, especially like the first episode. It kind of sets up this insane universe where like death is permanent, and Omni-Man ended all those lives and the permanence of finality of it. And it kind of seems like they went back on it this episode, because I mean, I don't know much about Black Samson, but he got destroyed last episode, and he is alive and well. Like, obviously something happened to him when he was on the operating table, but for him to even get to that point, I don't really understand it, because he got like slaughtered.
So did Monster Girl. She was like,
yeah, they both. I mean, I guess it could make sense for her because it was the monster side that got killed the most.
Yeah, so I guess
I don't know how that works.
It's like it's almost as if it's not even more of like a metamorphosis. It's like it's 2 different people controlling the same body, kind of thing.
Yeah, it's just kind of what the bigger issues for comic book series and movies is just death not being final.
Well, I mean, there were others that died during Battle Beast Massacre.
Yeah,
wasn't there? So
there?
I wonder. I
don't think there was.
I thought there was,
but it was these 3. I mean, obviously, Invincible is going to survive no matter what.
Yeah,
the other 2 is just like.
Well, you thought he was going to die last week. You're like,
I was just trying to keep the intrigue up.
I got you. How are we going to have Invincible? No Invincible. Well, maybe Battle Beast becomes the new Invincible.
They did get his DNA. They
did, and we see that towards the. I think that's what they're growing.
You think that's what Robot's doing?
I think so.
I don't know what he's doing, but he's getting close. But they're trying to set it up to where you think he actually does care about these people because of how much he stayed by Monster Girl's side. Mm-hmm. They're setting his character up to where he might be empathetic, but he's also got this dark side that we do not understand yet. What is he building?
It's that blank stare on his face.
I think he might be building a counter for Omni-Man because he knows that somebody has to fight Omni-Man.
Ooh, that'd be interesting. I like that a lot. I don't know. I mean, maybe, but it's kind of like, I mean, this entire episode, you know, it is more of a, you know, that is more of the latter half of the episode. And I really don't know, because it's like, I thought Monster Girl was a goner for a second, but then they brought her back. For some reason, I thought that there were more people from Guardians of the Globe that did die, because
I don't think so.
Battle Beast was sweeping.
But I guess he wasn't good enough to get the final blows.
I guess not. I mean, like, they were on the verge of death.
I watched the scene again, and Black Samson, like, his wrist was taken off of his body, and then his head was smushed. I don't understand how he was alive.
Yeah, if anything, it would have made more sense for Monster Girl to survive over Black Samson because he did lose his powers. So
I mean, obviously, they did show something happened to him on his deathbed where he was like shocked and brought back to life by something. So we don't know what that is yet.
Yeah, that too. It's some kind of unknown power. I'm assuming he's probably going to get his powers back. So maybe, I don't know.
Yeah, he said he's feeling better than ever.
Oh, there we go. Yeah. And so we also have the that kind of rolls into where
another side plot we got here with another interesting voice actor we got in this episode.
And with the college, the med college, med student. Yeah.
Our boy, Barry Allen coming in with a very annoying voice only meant for him.
He was a villain.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's what I was like,
that voice was hard to listen to.
I mean, honestly, it fits him. So
it does fit him. I'm glad it seems like it might just be a 1 episode arc for that guy, unless they break him out of prison.
Dude, I mean, I don't know, man. His jaw was like,
yeah.
Like, I'm surprised he was still alive because
I did find that his idea interesting of kind of making his own Terminator type things.
What did you think of that?
His brainless Cyclops. I liked all of it until the end where I think his name was Rick, voiced by the king himself, Jonathan Groff.
This episode, man, just stacks every single voice cast actor.
But I mean, he said he took out the frontal lobe. I'm no scientist, but it sounded like he was pretty sure that emotions wouldn't come into play after he took out the frontal lobe of his entire brain. But he kind of just snapped out of it.
Yeah.
I don't really understand that.
That I'm not sure of either. We're not doctors and we don't know everything about the human anatomy or what even actually causes emotions.
He sure seemed confident though.
Oh yeah,
it just
for sure.
Didn't work.
Yeah,
I was really liking it up until that part, and I was just like, what happened there?
Yeah, especially when he got schooled by his professor, and then everyone else in the class, and Amber's like, I just find you really freaking annoying. It's like, hey,
and Rick's just like this perfect human. He's just like
specimen.
I just think he needs some friends. That's all.
Yeah, he was like literally
that much of an adult.
He was literally the perfect. It's like Barry Allen's character said.
I love how they stared at his ass as he walked away.
I mean, he was the alpha male, so it's kind of it was.
It's fitting. It's fitting for the king.
It is fitting for the king. That is very true. Well, I wanted to ask you about the relationship between, since we're the relationship between Mark and Amber as of right now, it's very it's rough. I'm not gonna lie, rougher than ever, and especially afterwards. It's like I feel like he almost told her that he was invincible.
I mentioned this last episode. He has no choice but to tell her. It's either unless he wants to not see her.
Do you think
unless he wants to not see her anymore and keep her safe, then he could not tell her and then just leave her alone. But if he ever wants to see her again, he's got to tell her.
I think
because either option, she's in danger. If you're dating her and she doesn't know, she's in danger. If you're dating her and she does know, she's in danger. But at least if she knows, then
she knows you're not
trying to help her.
Yeah, she knows you're not ditching her all the time, and it's for a good cause. Yeah, so. We kind of see that a little bit, and I love it how he just literally but I'm surprised nobody else knew that it was him. I mean, the physique, his best friend figured
the weird goggles.
Yeah, his best friend figured it out, and he gave him a good hard look.
Well, I don't know where Amber went during that shuffle. She was kind of running away with somebody.
Yeah.
And that's when she got mad that she thought Mark ran away.
She got mad at Mark. I was like, get that crap out of here, man. No, sir. Not my boy. Absolutely not. So his best friend, I'm actually drawing a blank on his best friend. William. So William figures it out and he was up close and personal, but I feel like a lot of them are. So he figures it out, and it's just weird how Amber doesn't even figure it out. I
don't understand where she went during that shuffle.
Yeah, it was strange. I mean, it was. I thought that it showed that Invincible was still struggling with his with his powers, not even the fact that he doesn't know how to use them properly. Just the fact
I like
that
how he's
came.
getting his ass beat. Like,
Yeah.
he's really still learning, and he's still so new. Like, even just this random Cyclops robot can come up and just kind of beat him around a little.
Yeah, I was actually also going to make the point that he literally just got out of the hospital. Like, I don't know how fast the Ultramites heal or whatnot, but he definitely still had a few bruises.
Yeah,
so
you can see he was still sore.
Yeah, definitely still shaken up from all that, and it's just very, very realistic. So it's it was a great fight until the very end where the kid literally sees what he becomes, and his vocal cords are taken out. He just ends his life, and he's like, I don't want to. It's like, well, what else are you gonna do? So it's just some crazy stuff. But let's talk about Eve. Jillian Jacobs.
Good old
character.
Eve.
Yeah.
She's a philanthropist.
Yeah, she's out there saving the world, making a new life in the trees.
I feel like a lot of people go through that phase in their late teenage years, and then I feel like it doesn't last long.
Her parents are so terrible.
They can only fulfill you for so long, I feel like.
Yeah. And but we don't really know how Eve got her powers, do we? Did she really mention it? I don't think so.
Her dad just mentioned it's the worst day of his life, and she was like, "Oh, that hurt."
She was like, "Yeah." What did she say? She said that hurt more than I thought. But also, so I was actually talking to Zach and Leo about it, and they're reading into the comics and stuff, and they're like, "Oh, I know where they're going now." I'm like, "Don't you say anything?"
That's why I'm not going to read anything. But like, I want the surprise.
I do, and that's
like
hard.
Task on Twitter has been like hinting at things because he knows what happens. I'm just like, I'm good. I'll just watch it happen.
I mean, like I do want to dive into this world. It's much like with any like novel or like any novel that gets turned into a TV show. It's like, especially with like Game of Thrones. And I'm sure people did it with Harry Potter back in the day, even Lord of the Rings. Like, I mean, yeah, like there's movies and there's TV shows for these types of like comic books and these novel adaptations, but it actually, it does kind of resell, those like the original source, like the original content. I would definitely love to go back after season 1 and kind of read to see how this came about originally. I've done it for Game of Thrones. I'm wearing a Game of Thrones shirt right now. And, I've done it for His Dark Materials. I've done it I'm wanting to do it for Dune as well. Because I feel like it enhances the experience, especially with comic books. We have this show, but it is more of, oh my God, we're like live. What? Hold on. Someone's in there. Hey, Vincent, sorry. I thought I was recording. Okay. Anyway. It doesn't even matter. We're going to go. As I was saying, before I was distracted there, it really does brings new life into this film or into this series. So I'm curious. I'm like, I want Zach and Leo to tell me, but I'm not entirely sure if I do at the same time. So we'll just have to wait and see. But so that kind of covers the the university side. I guess the last
the last part is
parents battling it out.
Yeah, Debbie and Art officially are aware of what Omni-Man has done.
Yeah. Oh, like
officially. And my boy Art, I keep forgetting that's Mark Hamill, but he is.
Oh my God, that is Mark Hamill. Yeah, it is.
That boy is very scared, as he should be. Like, he couldn't even take the beer from his hand because he was just like so nervous.
I think he was actually shitting himself. I'm not gonna lie.
And I'm sure Omni-Man smelled it before it even came out. Probably one of his powers.
Honestly, yeah, it is. Oof. Like, because he comes up to him because he knows. Omni-Man knows that his wife. Obviously, she tells him, "Oh, I know what you did. You killed everyone." And he's like, "Oh, it's late. You've been drinking, whatever." He's kind of just dismissing it because obviously he does care about his wife. So we know he has some type of like moral.
Yeah,
moral
where's the line drawn? Is it his family where he's not gonna enact violence? Is that where he draws the line?
Is that why he watched his son get his ass beat from a distance? I don't know.
I mean, yeah, it's hard to read this guy.
Yeah, it's crazy stuff. And he always just has like that plain face, and especially when he goes to visit Art, like, and he's like, oh shit, like he knows that they both know. Yeah. And then he just pulls out the beer, and then, they're kind of, butting it up, having a few brewskis and whatnot. And then
he knows that he can't kill Art, because then Debbie would really catch on to what he's trying to do.
Yeah. And it's like, we still don't know, his end game, which is fine. I'm sure we'll know something, or I'm assuming it's going to be a cliffhanger for season 1. It's when we find out a lot of stuff, or it may be in the penultimate episode. Coming
we
up.
got 2 more episodes.
Oh, man. And 2 more Falcon and Winter Soldier, and we're done.
It's supposed to be a big one tomorrow.
Supposedly 60 minutes. I don't know how we're going to fit all that in, but it'll be a good time for sure. But yeah, so it's I really want to know what Omni-Man's end game is, because I mean, like, that was creepy though, because it's like, they're palling around like up on the roof having a few brews, and then Art, he's just like, he kind of snaps out of it, and he's like, how could you, kind of he tells him without knowing, and then it's just that, like, Omni-Man's so dismissive about it, but it's weird. It's like he's calm, but he's pissed at the same time. But it's like he knows how to control his anger. But I don't know. I'm still baffled that he just killed the entire Guardians of the Globe. At first, I thought it was some kind of random, like, bad dream or like training regimen or something. I'm like, oh no, this is like real. And he's independent. I mean, he's not technically part of the Guardians of the Globe, even though I think he worked with them in the past. But I don't know, man. Some crazy stuff. Crazy stuff. But before we get out of here, Devin, is there anything else you wanted to bring up to our lovely listeners and viewers out there?
I loved how excited Mark was getting on the campus visit. It just shows how human he is.
Yeah.
Like, he is so, and how young he is, because we just get to see that side of him where he's actually eager to have a future.
Yeah. And
it's not just being a superhero.
Yeah, because him and Eve had that conversation where he's like, I'm not
Amber.
Because right before he goes to the college, Eve comes by Mark's house, and they were kind of talking about, giving up the life and whatnot, but he wants to go to, this prestigious school, and that leads into the conversation with Amber, and she's like, well, your grades have to, be up there. And then she goes off to a frat party. Oh,
yeah. With other Taken guy.
Yeah, other Taken guy. I don't know who is voiced by him, but he seems okay. Like, at first,
what was
I was
his
like,
name? Tim?
I think so. Yeah, it seems like he was putting the moves on Amber, and then she's like, "Oh, well, he mentions that he's a girlfriend," and then she's like, "Oh, like he's like, oh, are you with anyone?" And she is like, "Not really. Like, recently, no." But it shows that they didn't do anything, at least that we know of, because she goes back to the dorm, by herself and whatnot. But you can tell she definitely still cares. But it's like his whole, like, I wouldn't say his entire issue would be solved, but like part of his problem would be resolved. But that would then, gain into another problem, because she knows who he is, and then, using his leverage and whatnot, getting close to family. And it's just like, he hasn't really told anyone, like, outside of like the superhero like clique. So it's like he's taking it seriously. I mean, William found out, but that's just because.
And I think DA Sinclair might know now.
Oh yeah, that's
William
right.
said Mark on accident.
Yeah, it's like Mark.
If his brain still works.
If his brain still works, yeah. So
his
it's
frontal lobe.
Yeah, but seriously,
it would have been funny if Mark took out his frontal lobe. How does that feel?
Oh my God, that'd be too much. But yeah, another great episode, man. Let's get into our scores really quick and get the heck out of here. So for Invincible episode 6 titled "You Look Kind of Dead," what would you give a rating scale for this wonderful piece of artwork?
I mentioned a couple issues I had, but overall still pretty solid. I'll go with a B plus, somewhere in there.
Okay. I was gonna give it a A minus, more so of a probably like a 90. Nothing's perfect, but I really did enjoy the episode. It set out what it needed to do, and I was more tense than ever. And it's kind of like, you kind of want to like yell and scream at the TV. It's like, oh my God, like Mark was so close to telling Amber and he just didn't. But it's like, that's the name of the game. We get Philanthropist Eve over here. We get mischievous Omni-Man and his nosy wife and the tailor as well. So, and especially towards the end, that really weird scene. I'm not sure what they're alluding to with that, or what the two blue twins are building with with Robot. But yeah, it's all good stuff, man. It's been crazy, just all over the place. But anyway, so let's end it there. Everyone, thank you for watching on YouTube. Didn't know it was going live. I definitely clicked the record button besides the live button, because there was a few things I wanted to change up, but that's okay. We will change that over. Sorry, I had someone calling me really quick. It's actually feeding into, actually, hold on. Let's answer this. Hey, Parker, what's up? All right, man. I'll see you soon. Peace. I didn't feed it through. Sorry. I was going to, and I was like, he's just on his way over to watch this movie. But yeah, so we have our Falcon and Winter Soldier episode. By the time you guys are watching this or listening to this, you can, listen or watch either or. We are on YouTube now, so if you prefer to watch this more in a video format, subscribe down below. Give us a little love. We're always looking to hear a little bit of feedback from all you guys out there. So let's get out of here, Devin. And that's the wrap for today, everyone. Thank you all for listening, and make sure to follow the other shows over on MusicCityDriving.com and subscribe to our show so you never miss an episode. That was Devin. My name is Christian, and we'll see you guys in the next one.
Peace.
Oh, also, we have our Mitchells versus the Machine review coming up later on this week. We can't talk about it, and I got a few other things in the works over at MusicCityDriving.com. Go ahead and check all that stuff out, and make sure to leave us a 5-star rating and review on Apple Podcasts. And we'll see you guys next week. If I can get this. I definitely